The Last Messenger, a story of our prophet. His name was Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He was born in the sacred city of Mecca around the year 570 CE, an orphan before he took his first breath. His father had passed away before he was born, and by the age of 6, he had also lost his mother. He was alone in a world that offered him little. Raised first by his grandfather, then by his uncle, the young boy grew up in the shadows of Mecca's towering mountains and louder idols. He belonged to the noble tribe of Quraysh, but his family lived without wealth. Still, even as a boy, there was something in him that the people could not ignore. He was quiet, observant, honest. So honest, in fact, that they began to call him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Mecca at the time was a city of trade and worship, but not worship of one God. The people had filled the Kaaba, once built by the prophet Abraham and his son Ismail, with idols of stone and wood. Each tribe had its own gods, each god had its price, but Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He never bowed to idols. As a young man, he worked in trade, often traveling across deserts and seas. His honesty earned him more than profit, it earned him respect. And eventually, it earned him the love of a noble woman named Khadijah, who proposed marriage. She was 15 years older than him, but their union was full of love, strength, and understanding. She would be his first follower and his greatest support. But something deeper stirred within him. He would often retreat to a cave on Mount Hira, seeking solitude, seeking something beyond the noise of the city. It was there, in the stillness of the night, that the heavens opened. The angel Gabriel, appeared before him, a light unlike any other, and gave him a command. Recite, in the name of your Lord, who created. The words were powerful, heavy, divine. They would become the first verses of the Quran, and with them a messenger was born. At first, he was shaken, but soon the truth settled into his heart. He knew this was not madness. This was a mission. He began to preach, quietly at first, then openly. He called the people to leave their idols, to worship the one God, Allah, the creator of all things. Some listened, many mocked him, and the leaders of Mecca, especially his own tribe, the Quraysh, saw him as a threat. His message wasn't just spiritual, it was economic. If the idols were false, the pilgrimages would stop. The prophet would dry up. They threatened him, hurt his followers, boycotted his family, but he never stopped. When the oppression became unbearable, he and his followers left Mecca. They fled north to a city called Yathrib, now known as Medina. There, he was welcomed not just as a prophet, but as a peacemaker. In Medina, Islam flourished. The call to prayer echoed through the desert. The community grew, but the enemies in Mecca had not forgotten him. Battles followed. Badr, Uhud, and the Trench. Despite being outnumbered, the Muslims stood firm, led by a man who fought not for power, but for truth. Eventually, the tides turned. In the year 630, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, returned to Mecca, not as a refugee, but as a victor. But instead of revenge, he offered mercy. The idols in the Kaaba were destroyed, and Mecca was purified once again. 2 years later, standing before thousands on Mount Arafat, he gave his final sermon, a message of unity, justice, and devotion. He reminded the people that all humans are equal in the eyes of God, that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, and no white to a black. Only righteousness sets people apart. Soon after, the prophet fell ill. On the 12th of Rabi al-Awwal, in the year 632, he passed away peacefully in the home of his wife Aisha, leaving behind no gold, no palace, only a message that would forever change the world. He was Muhammad, Peace and blessings be upon him, the last messenger.